Good morning. Today we will start with the fuel air cycles and their analysis. In the previous class we had introduction about this cycle, fuel air cycles and their significance. What is the importance of study of fuel air cycles? Why we need to study it? By air standard cycle analysis, it is understood how the efficiency is improved by increasing the compression ratio. You can see here, this is efficiency of Otto cycle, in which we assumed air only as a working fluid. You can see here the efficiency is function of compression ratio here. So if you increase this R, value of R, if you increase the compression ratio, the efficiency will increase. You can see in this graph here 2.6 effect of R compression ratio on efficiency of Otto cycle. As you increase the compression ratio, your efficiency of cycle will increase. Now you can see here, however, analysis cannot bring out the effect of air-fuel ratio on the thermal efficiency because the working medium was assumed to be air. Because we have assumed only air as working fluid, we haven't taken air and fuel mixture into account. So the previous calculations were by assuming that we had only air as a working fluid. Here in this chapter, the presence of fuel in the cylinder is taken into account, and accordingly the working medium will be a mixture of fuel and air. By fuel air cycle analysis, it will be possible to bring out the effect of fuel air ratio on thermal efficiency and also study how the peak pressure and temperature during the cycle vary with respect to fuel air. In general, influence of many of engine operating variables on the pressure and temperature within the engine cylinder may be better understood by the examination of fuel air cycles. The fuel air cycle analysis takes into account the following: the actual composition of the cylinder gases. The cylinder gases contains fuel, air, vapor and residual gas. The fuel air ratio changes during the operation of engine, which changes the relative amounts of carbon dioxide, water vapor, etc. The variation is specific heat with temperature. Specific heats increase with temperature except for monatomic gas. Therefore, the value of gamma, specific heat ratio, also changes with temperature. The effect of dissociation: the fuel and air do not completely combine chemically at higher temperature above 1600 degree Kelvin, and this leads to the presence of carbon monoxide, hydrogen, single atom hydrogen and oxygen at equilibrium conditions. The variation in number of molecules: the number of molecules present after combustion depends on fuel air ratio and upon the pressure and temperature after the combustion. Means the number of molecules during inlet and outlet will change and they will vary. They will depend on fuel air ratio also. So these are the factors which we consider in fuel air cycles. We haven't considered these factors during the analysis of air standard cycles. During the analysis of air standard cycle, you can see here air standard cycles and their analysis, we had considered these parameters. You can see here there is no change in mass of working fluid. Process that constitute the cycle are reversible, and you can see here the physical constant with Cp, Cv, gamma and m of the working medium are the same as that of air at standard atmospheric conditions. So we have considered these parameters fixed, but during this analysis, during the analysis of fuel air cycles, we had taken that these parameters specific heats will change. But apart from that, we have to take above factors into consideration. The following assumptions are commonly made. There is no chemical change in either fuel or air prior to combustion. This is to be considered that there is no chemical change before the combustion. Subsequent to combustion, the charge is always in chemical equilibrium. Uh, there is no heat change between the gases and the cylinder walls. It means they are adiabatic. Also, the compression and expansion processes are frictionless. In case of reciprocating engine, it is assumed that fluid motion can be ignored inside the cylinder. With particular reference to constant volume air fuel cycle, it is also assumed that fuel is completely vaporized and perfectly mixed with the air. The burning takes place instantaneously at the top dead center. So these are still assumptions which we have to make for the analysis of fuel air cycles. As already mentioned, the air standard cycle analysis show the general effect of only compression ratio on engine efficiency, whereas the fuel air cycle gives the effect of variation of fuel air ratio, inlet pressure and temperature on the entire engine performance. It will be noticed that compression ratio and fuel air ratio are very important parameters of engine, while inlet conditions are not so as important. The actual efficiency of a good engine is about 80% of estimated fuel air cycle efficiency. So why we need to done fuel air cycle efficiency analysis? Because the air standard efficiency is much higher as compared to actual efficiency of engine, but fuel air cycle analysis is much near to actual analysis of the engine. So we will do fuel air cycle analysis here. A good estimator of power to be expected from the actual engine can be made from fuel air cycle analysis. Also, peak pressure and exhaust temperatures which affect the engine structure and design can be estimated, because we have to design the engine. For design, what we need, we want what would be the maximum temperature engine, what would be the higher pressure at different points and peak pressure in the engine, so that we can design our engine. Thus the effect of many variables on the performance of engine can be understood better by only fuel air cycle analysis. Next is composition of cylinder gases. As you will know, the cylinder gases composed of different mixture. The air fuel ratio changes during the engine operation. This change in air fuel ratio affects the composition of gases before combustion as well after combustion, particularly the percentage of carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, water vapor, etc. in the exhaust gases. In four-stroke engines, fresh charge as it enters the engine cylinder comes into contact with the burnt gases left in the clearance space of the previous cycle, because your engine operates on a cycle. So the whatever the products of combustion in the previous cycle, they will mix with the, you can say, next cycle. The amount of exhaust gases in clearance space varies with speed and load on the engine. Fuel air cycle analysis takes into account this fact and the results are computed for preparing the combustion charts. However, with the availability of fast digital computers, nowadays it is possible to analyze the effect of cylinder gas composition on the performance of the engine by means of suitable mechanical techniques. The computer analysis can be produced fast and accurate results. Thus, fuel air cycle analysis can be done more easily through computers rather than through manual calculations. The next topic is variable specific heats. All gases except monatomic gases show an increase in specific heats with temperature. The increase in specific heat does not follow any particular law. However, over the temperature range between 300 to 2000 Kelvin, the specific heat curve is nearly straight line. So Cp will follow this law. Cp is equal to A1 is constant, K is slope, T is temperature. So Cp is dependent on temperature and Cv is also, it follows a straight line. It will increase and it depends on temperature. You can see here at 300 and 2000 Kelvin we have two values here. You can see at 300 Kelvin Cp is 1.5, 1.005, Cv is 0.717. At through 1000 Kelvin, Cp will increase and it is 1.345 and Cv is 1.057, and accordingly you can calculate the ratio of Cp and Cv, which is gamma. So above 1500 Kelvin, the specific heat increases much more rapidly. You can see it will follow 2-degree equation here. Cp is a function of T square, but we can neglect this, or in nutshell we can say specific heat is a function of temperature, and specific heat at constant volume is also a function of temperature. The physical explanation for increase in specific heat is that as the temperature is raised, larger fractions of heat would be required to produce motion of atoms with the molecules. Since temperature is the result of motion of the molecules as a whole, the energy which goes into moving the atoms does not contribute to proportional temperature rise. Hence, more heat is required to raise the temperature of unit mass through 1 degree Celsius. You very well know if Cp will increase. If Cp will increase, we need to supply more amount of heat to raise the temperature of gas through 1 degree Celsius. So it means with increase in specific heats, it is difficult to raise the temperature of gases. The values of Cp and Cv for air are usually taken as you can see here. There are two temperatures, but throughout the engine cycle this value will vary. This value will vary from 300 to 2000 degree Kelvin. Since the difference between Cp and Cv is constant, the difference between Cp and Cv is constant, the value of gamma decreases with increase in temperature. You can see gamma here is more as compared to gamma here. If you take the ratio of these two, you will get more as compared to at less temperature. Thus, if the variation of specific heat is taken into account during the compression stroke, the final temperature and pressure would be lower than as compared to constant specific heats. You can see in this pressure volume diagram. So 1, 2, 3, 4, it having with constant specific heats, 1, 2 dash, 3 dash and 4 dash with variable specific heats, 1, 2, 3 dash and 4 double dash with constant specific heats from point 3 dash. So there are three graphs here. In nutshell, you can see the dotted line graph with dotted line having less, you can say, work output, because the maximum temperature rise is less. 3 dash is less as compared to 3 and 2 dash is less as compared to 2. The reason being the increase in specific heat and specific heat at constant volume with increase in pressure. You can see here with variable specific heats, the temperature at the end of compression will be 2 dash. You can see temperature will be 2 dash with variable specific heat instead of 2. The magnitude of drop in temperature is proportional to drop in the value of ratio of specific heats for the process 1 to with constant. You can see this is the relation between temperature and volume. This is for idle case where specific heat is constant, and with variable specific heat this is the case T2 dash is equal to this one. For given values of T1, P1 R, the magnitude of T2 dash depends on K. It will depend on K. K means it will depend on this value, specific heat ratio, that is variable specific heat. Constant volume combustion from point 2 dash will be give a temperature T3 dash instead of T3. You can see here in the ideal case where specific heat is constant, after combustion from 2 to 3 the temperature will be this one, so temperature is higher. But in case of you can say variable specific heat, we will achieve only 3 dash point, so temperature will be less. Okay. Thus, this is due to the fact that the rise in value of Cv because of variable specific heats, which reduces the temperature as already explained. If the temperature is the maximum temperature will decrease, it will further affect the engine performance. The process 2 dash 3 dash is the heat addition with variation in specific heats from 3 dash. If expansion takes place as constant specific heats, this would result in process 3 dash 4 double dash. Now you can see this is your expansion process. If 3 dash is different from here, so now expansion will start from here. Otherwise, what will happen? Expansion should be start from here in where your specific heat is constant and fixed. Now your expansion will start from here and it will lead to this different point 4 dash and 4 double dash as compared to the 4 point. If expansion takes place at constant specific heats, this would result in process 3-4 whereas actual expansion due to variable specific heats will result in 3